What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate all of you. Everybody that's here, thank you so much for spending time with me. Anybody that's watching this after, thank you for taking the time to watch it after. I am going to make a video talking about the Myles Turner trade, Buddy Hield, potential to the Lakers. We got some details in regards to what the Lakers are actually offering on the table. And when it comes to the Lakers in a trade, obviously they want to trade Russell Westbrook, remove him. The grand prize is Kyrie Irving, right? They want to acquire Kyrie Irving. They're trying to work it out to where they can get Kyrie Irving and Buddy Hield. But the other alternative is, of course, the Indiana Pacers trade. Based on reports, the Indiana Pacers deal is essentially done as long as they are willing to give up 2 first-round picks. Now, whether that's true or not, we don't know. But we've gotten a lot of credible reports in that regard, right? That hey, this deal is dead until the Lakers decide to give 2 first-round picks. But if they give 2 first-round picks, then the deal could essentially be done. But as far as like what the current offer is that the Lakers threw out there, the offer that the Lakers threw out there is Russell Westbrook plus a 2027 first for Myles Turner and Buddy Hield. And that is per BK Cravens and the JMV 1070 Today show. And the Pacers will accept the Lakers' offer, also if they include their 2029 first-round pick. So again, based on the reports that we got, that the Lakers, they could get the deal done for Myles Turner and Buddy Hield, assuming they give up 2 first-round picks, the 27 and 29 picks, which make a lot of sense for the Indiana Pacers. They're going to take Westbrook. They're going to buy him out. They get to clear off some salary space, things along those lines. The Lakers, they would get back Buddy Hield, who they've wanted for some time now. They had a deal last year done and ready to go when it comes to Myles Turner, and then when it comes to Buddy Hield. And then, of course, that ended up falling through because they decided to go and get Russell Westbrook. And in many ways, I feel like the Buddy Hield thing is kind of that, that white whale. Like, we need to do whatever it takes to go get him because we should have gotten him and we didn't get him. And now we regret it. But hey, look, Laker fans, look, we got him. That kind of thing is very likely going to be the case. Now, whether this deal actually gets done or not, I don't know. It's a real possibility. And the reason I think that this is a very viable trade and one that could really seriously happen is because, like, from the Pacers standpoint, they would love to move off of Buddy Hield's $22 million a year salary, right? And then as far as the Myles Turner trade, like, he's a free agent, right? So better to get something back than nothing at all, right? Better to go get a first round pick or 2 first round picks. You move off of Buddy Hield's $22 million a year contract. You're getting something from Myles Turner rather than losing him for nothing. Not that other teams wouldn't be interested in Myles Turner, but if you're a team, you're looking at it as like Myles Turner is an expiring deal. There's no guarantee he's going to stay and go to a team that he wants to go to. He's not a huge needle mover. Now, I do think he is a player that can, change a team to some degree. But, a lot of like the top teams, they got their centers locked up. They got their centers ready to go. So it's just like where would be the best fit for him that he'd be willing to go to? What type of assets and things like that could you go and get in the deal? And from the Pacers, they just want the salary, right? They want to be able to move off of Myles Turner's contract, move off of Buddy Hield. They get 2 firsts in the process of like as a thank you. And I do think that the Indiana Pacers trade is more of a leverage play for the Lakers than anything else. I think that, and I could be completely wrong, but very likely I think the thinking and logic is we go get a Buddy Hield and a Myles Turner. Yes, we're giving up 2 firsts, but maybe the Nets would want Myles Turner over a first-round pick because you got to keep in mind the Nets, they can't tank for 1. 2, if they let Kyrie Irving go, they can't replace him. They can't. They have to just let it go. You know what I mean? Like they don't have. It's not like they can let Kyrie go and now they have $36 million. That is free and available. No, they still have Ben Simmons on a max contract. They still have, Kevin Durant on a max contract. They have other deals locked up to multi-years, things like that. Joe Harris, he's making $18 million a year for the next 2 years, stuff like that. So they can't just go and make a deal for another star or another star level player or something along those lines. So I definitely think that this trade would be viable. Hey, you're not going to get a first, but you're getting a proven commodity in Myles Turner that'll help you win now. That's going to help you now. So those are kind of my thoughts. I just wanted to relay the Myles Turner information to you all. But that being said, let's dive into this chat a little bit and see what we got. I again appreciate all of you hanging out. We'll definitely dive into that some more. But just wanted to get the information out to everybody, and then we'll get it from there. But Michael, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I really appreciate it. Respect the grind, bro. 2 streams. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I love to stream. Streaming is also a little easier than videos, right? I was actually planning to turn this into an actual video and then relay it, but I ended up getting caught up and I have some other things that I got to take care of later tonight. So I was like, a live stream. I don't have to edit it. I can get the information out there. I can have some more fun with the chat. I genuinely do enjoy these live streams. Obviously, the super chats, seriously, thank you so much. They really do help the channel, all of that. And I'm very blessed and very thankful for that. So thank you very much. And yeah, I mean, that's the goal, right? The goal is to just grind, hustle, do what I can, provide some good quality content. Because at the end of the day, as YouTubers, it's just about entertainment, right? It's just about, having fun and, making some noise. So that's what it is. If I can do some more live streams, if I can hang out with all of y'all, I love answering the questions. I love having the discussions, even in the videos. That's why I try to pass it to you at the end of the videos, the viewers, because I want those discussions. I want those conversations. But I do. Thank you again so very much for the super chat. It means a ton to me. And yeah, let's see. You live again? Yes. Yes, Mr. 81. Yeah, like I said, I was going to make this an actual video, but I don't have the time to edit, put it together, all that stuff right now. So I was like, why not do like an hour live stream and just kind of hang out with people? I could relay the information, and then we could jump into the chat and have some fun. I love your content. Well, thank you, Mr. 81. I appreciate it. Seriously. Stop listening to these rumors. Hey, look, at the end of the day, isn't everything rumors? And isn't YouTube about entertainment and fun? I mean, look at it like this. You want us to stop listening to the rumors, but yet you're commenting, you're at least intrigued by it. Whether it's true or not, that's what we all are, right? We're all just intrigued by this stuff. It's entertainment. What else what else is there right now? If we don't talk about, the rumors and the fun and the speculations, go down some rabbit holes, have some discussions, whether you agree, whether you disagree, however you feel about it, people are interested, I mean, and people enjoy the conversations. I understand it's not for everybody. Not everybody wants to do it, but look at all this, like ESPN, Fox Sports 1, all that stuff. They wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for the rumors. It'd just be highlights, and they'd only be able to do that so many days out of the year, So, I mean, as much as people like to say in comments, like, oh, stop talking about rumors, stop doing this, stop doing that. Yet you click on the video, you watch the video, you comment, you do all that stuff. So it's like, what is it? What do you want? I don't care about anything else. I just want Kyrie and LeBron back. I am totally with that. I think Kyrie is the only needle mover. I think Kyrie is the only one that really kind of makes us a legit viable contender. I just don't see, as much as I think Buddy Hield and Myles Turner both would be significant additions. I definitely think together they move the needle heavily, but I do still think there's a handful of teams that we probably don't beat. But a healthy LeBron, healthy Anthony Davis, you can't rule it out. And whether we have Kyrie Irving, whether we have Buddy Hield and Myles Turner, I still believe the key is Anthony Davis. I think if you have a healthy, dominant Anthony Davis, I do. I think Lakers are always in it because he is one. A bubble Anthony Davis is a top 5 player, and then on top of that, like you're talking about, a guy that is just a complete mismatch night in and night out. It doesn't get any better than that, seriously. So, we want Kyrie. Absolutely. I would love Kyrie. If we can make Kyrie happen, I am all for it. Come on, Adam Silvers, make it happen. I'm with it. Respect the grind. Thank you so much. And again, thank you so much for the super chat. Really meant a lot, Michael. What else do we got? I did respond to the chat. I'm responding to the chat right now. See, a little patience. Kyrie first and foremost. Yeah, of course. And the Lakers aren't going to do a deal until they know one way or another that the Kyrie Irving deal is dead. As long as Kyrie is still on the table, that is going to be priority. Like that's obviously their numero uno. That's their, that's their number one trade target. That's what they're hoping to get across, to get done. So I definitely think that as long as that is a possibility, the Lakers remain patient. And we still have a month and a half before training camp and stuff. So it's not like we're in a desperate need. It's not like we have to rush or anything like that. Like we can take our time, see what develops. Let the cards fold and fall where they may, and see how it goes. Turner and Hield getting moved for some sort of reason. Yeah, so I think it's more so just like what are their other options? Like if you can get back 2 first-round picks, that's perfect, right? You're a rebuilding Pacers team. The thing is that like I said with Turner, you're talking about a guy that is, yeah, he's a great solid center. Don't get me wrong, but he's an expiring deal. He's not like a $30 million expiring deal where it's like, oh man, like we could use that to alleviate some cap space, something like that. He's a guy that is definitely solid, but if you're a team and you're looking at that, 1, do you really need a center? 2, how much does he move the needle? And 3, what would you be willing to give up for a Myles Turner? And 4 is like, are you good enough to where Myles Turner would want to stay with your team? Because you don't want to trade for Myles Turner and he just leaves next year and goes elsewhere. So I just think that there's not a lot of options for a Myles Turner. Now, you're not talking like Kawhi Leonard, like somebody of that caliber. It made sense for Toronto to take a 1-year shot and try to win a championship, and it worked. But somebody like Myles Turner, he's not moving the needle enough to where it's like, oh man, if we get Myles Turner, we're immediately like now we're the best team in the league, that kind of thing. It's not like that. And then as far as Buddy Hield, what does he offer outside of shooting? He's not a great defender. He's only getting older. He dropped like 3% in his shooting percentage last year. Granted, you could equate that to being on a new team, new environment, trying to feel it out, stuff like that. But he's on a $22 million 2-year deal left. Like, if you're a team, do you really want to pay out $40 million to a player that, again, doesn't move the needle, that just is good, not great? Like, a guy that can knock down threes, but a lot of teams would rather have a guy that shoots 35% from 3, but can stop the other guy. You have a guy like Buddy Hield, like, yeah, he might get you 15 a game, but if he's giving up 20, you're losing those games. Like that, I think that is kind of the thing. Last live stream earlier today, you forgot to message me back. No, I didn't forget. I literally have not had time. Like I got out of the live stream, I jumped into something immediately. And I wanted to make this video on the Myles Turner thing, but then something else came up that I gotta go do, and in about like an hour or so. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go on another live stream, do another live stream, hang out with y'all, have some fun, have the discussion, and then that way I don't have to edit it, anything like that. Boom, relayed the information in the beginning, and now we're in the chat answering questions, having fun. Excuse me. Love the content, brother. Well, thank you so much, Pedro. Seriously, I really do appreciate it. Newer YouTube channel, trying to grind and grow. And this last like month and a half, if that, this month really has been the big trajectory. And it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful. It's a blessing to be in this position to have all you people, all you beautiful people. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, please. I'm almost to 4K. Let's see how far we are. We're at we're at 3896. If I could get 104 subscribers in this stream, that would be wonderful. Get me to 4K. Otherwise, if I could at least get 4, there's got to be at least 4 of you. Get me to 3,900. That would be awesome. But a month and a half ago, I was at 250 subscribers, and here we are. So and now I'm in a position to where I'm able to have these discussions. People want to give me super chats, which is amazing. People want to tune in and stuff. It's a blessed position to be in, and I'm very thankful, very thankful. Lakers trade not going to happen. They keep capping. I don't know. It's very possible. It's very possible that nothing ends up happening, right? I don't want to say, I don't want to say that it's a definitive thing, because nothing really is, especially in the NBA. So 1 minute it's great, 1 minute it's not. But I think the Lakers make a move one way or another. whether it's the big move or the move that we all want, I don't know. But I do think, because here's the thing, like especially when it comes to Kyrie Irving, like what are the other options for the Nets? Like, yes, the Nets could run it back for a year, but the issue is that the Nets, they can't replace Kyrie unless they make a trade. They're still over the cap next year if they let Kyrie go. Now, if they could, let's say they could move off of Kyrie and just kind of let him go. And then, it's like, hey, we got $36 million to go and get another player. Yeah, like that makes sense. Like, okay, fine. Like, who cares? If you lose them, you lose them. If you don't, you don't. Either way, it doesn't matter. Like that, I understand. But as far as like, the situation they're in right now, they can't tank. They don't have any assets. And if Kyrie just walks, they don't have any money to replace him. So it's like, you got to do something. You really want that problem? Like, go ahead. And that's why I think the Lakers are being smart by being patient. The Nets don't have a lot of other options. It's not like somebody's coming and knocking on the door saying, hey, we want Kyrie Irving now. That's just kind of my thing. Who's the point guard? I'm assuming you mean the Lakers. As of right now, Russell Westbrook, if Russ is gone, we'd still have Kendrick Nunn. You still have LeBron James, who was the point guard when we won a championship. So we're still fine. You still have guys like Austin Reeves who can kind of play that role in a pinch if need be, stuff like that. My bad, bro. I need to learn patience. It's all good. I appreciate you being here nonetheless. But yes, a little patience. But it's all right. I get it. And I'm thankful you're here. Colin Sexton, I would love that to happen. I just don't know. I just don't see that ever happening because I don't think the Lakers would be able to trade for him. I don't see anybody that the Cavs would want. Colin Sexton, I don't think is going to sign with the Lakers. Now, if we had the full mid-level exception that is like 10 million, something like that. I think Colin Sexton on like a prove it deal could be a real possibility. But they seem to have that struggle with the Cavs. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Colin Sexton. I think a lot of it has to do with just like this mess, the Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, all of that stuff. It's like, what is going to happen? What are they going to do? And then I think once we find that out, all the dominoes will fall. Colin Sexton will go to the Cavs or he'll go elsewhere, this, that, and the other. I think as one of those dominoes are going to fall, and I think it'll very likely either be the Pacers deal or it'll be the Donovan Mitchell deal. I think one of those two pieces are going to fall first, and then everything else will kind of like, snowball from there out. Whoever ends up trading, whatever. They're going to start the season with Westbrook. It's not, I wouldn't rule it out. I really wouldn't. Obviously we all hope not, but in reality, we can't definitively say no. But here's the thing. Worst case scenario, I don't think that that's a bad situation. I know Laker fans would be upset about it. I know many people don't like the idea, but if Darvin Ham can make it work, I don't think he's going to make it work enough to where we're automatically contenders. But when the three of them were on court, we had a winning record. It just was such a small sample size. So if Darvin Ham can make it work, which on top of that, Darvin Ham running the 4-out, 1-in offense is going to be huge for Russell Westbrook because he's going to be able to put him in position to be successful, running downhill, down on the block, things like that. And let me clarify before somebody's like, why are you comparing the two? Russell Westbrook is nowhere near Giannis. But a lot of the flaws that Giannis has, so does Westbrook. The lack of shooting, kind of just he's improved tremendously over the years, but he's not like a lights out shooter. And for years, what they did with Giannis is they just put the 4-out, 1-in offense, and they allowed him to get the ball and just go downhill. Or they put him in, the dunker spot and we're able to dump it down to him and make him be effective. Westbrook will likely be that Giannis type role. Not saying that they're anywhere comparable as players, but like they both can't really shoot. And what else do you do? Russ can get into the paint, can get to the rim, kick it out, all of that stuff. That is likely going to be the case that we see when it comes to them. That's very likely how it's going to play out. If if I had to guess. But Gary coming in hot with the $2 super chat, just showing support. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Seriously, it means a ton to me. Awesome, and thank you for your support. It really is. It's awesome. Like I said, it's awesome to be in a position to where people want to be here, want to talk with me, want to support me, give super chats. I love it. Thank you, seriously. Means the world. Thank you, Carrie. But where were we? Yeah. So what's going on? I appreciate you, Braves fans. Thank you for being here. Kyrie is a problem player. He is, but the hope is, and the thought process is, you have a guy in Kyrie Irving who, one, will be in LA and wants to be there. Two, was obsessed with Kobe. Three, have something to prove. Four, admitted himself that he was the cause and the issue and the reason that the LeBron and Kyrie and him and the LeBron relationship didn't work, and that he messed up, and respects LeBron and stuff like that. So hopefully that's true. And then lastly is that hopefully LeBron can kind of keep him contained. And you got to keep in mind too that like this whole thing started because of the Nets. Like Kyrie wanted to re-sign. Like if the Nets would have just given Kyrie the extension, they probably wouldn't be in this situation. But they didn't. They wanted Kyrie to do a prove it deal or whatever, and it blew up in their face. And now look, now they got to trade Kyrie and KD, and it became this mess. Like Kyrie wanted to stay with the team. Like he didn't want to leave. So I think that that's something else. You gotta keep in mind when you're talking about this stuff. Q and Spencer, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Seriously, the Celtics gave pennies for Malcolm Brogdon, but they want to bust the Lakers' heads for players they don't even want. Absolutely. So, look, the Laker tax, I do believe that to an extent. I think some people kind of make that bigger than it is sometimes, but it definitely is. Nobody wants to be the team that gets fleeced by the Lakers, right? Nobody wants to. The Lakers have done it so many times, right? And nobody wants to be that team. Malcolm Brogdon, I think that came into what the type of player, how many people wanted him, injury history, stuff like that. I think part of the reason they're like, we want 2 first-round picks is because they know that they're doing the Lakers a huge favor and they're taking on the Westbrook contract. Like if the Lakers had, let's say like Kendrick Nunn and THT, and the Pacers wanted THT, and let's say their salaries could match Buddy Hield and Myles Turner, then I don't think the Pacers would want it first. But I think they're looking at it as if we help this deal, they get off of Westbrook, they improve tremendously. We're taking on Westbrook's contract for them. Yes, it does help us get off of the Buddy Hield contract, but we're losing Myles Turner. Yes, we're a rebuilding team. We want some assets. And I'm not saying that that's right, but I think that that's kind of their thinking. But yeah, the Lakers tax is real to an extent. I do. I don't think it's as heavy as people think it is, but I think it definitely is something that is worth mentioning. But again, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Seriously, means a ton. I really do appreciate it. And everyone that's given the super chat, seriously, it means a lot. All right, now where were we? Here we go. The Lakers play the long game. They may pick up Turner and Hield to flip in the Kyrie deal. They may try for KD and not Kyrie. We have no clue yet. LeBron may just run point. So I think very likely LeBron will probably run point guard if if we end up with the Buddy Hield, Myles Turner deal. Even if we get Kyrie, I think LeBron will. It'll be like what Cleveland was, where LeBron's the point guard. Yeah, maybe somebody else brings the ball up, but LeBron's the point guard. That's what I think ends up happening. I am pretty confident if the Lakers end up trading for Buddy Hield and Myles Turner, don't be shocked to watch shortly after or even the next day, Myles Turner going to the Brooklyn Nets. Because I think that's the only way that they trade. Because if they trade for Buddy Hield and Myles Turner and they don't trade Myles Turner, they can't get Kyrie because they would have to unload Buddy Hield's contract, which they're not going to be able to do. and they won't have the money to sign Kyrie in the offseason. I don't think the Lakers are going to do anything to mess up the potential of getting Kyrie Irving, because I think, one, that's going to keep LeBron around. Two, you're a contender. And three, they want Kyrie wants to be there. So I don't see them doing anything that's going to jeopardize that. So if they make a deal for Buddy Hield and Myles Turner, look for the Lakers to do that switch, or it is just a 3-team deal from the jump, which I think makes a lot of sense. Because it's like, if you're the Lakers, it's like, yes, I know you want a first-round pick, but you could have a first-round pick that may or may not be anything, and you're now in a worse situation because you don't have a player to show for it, and you can't replace Kyrie, you can't tank, KD wants to leave, all of that stuff. Or you could not get a first-round pick. We'll give you Myles Turner, who you can re-sign and extend, and you're good. And now you have somebody to replace Kyrie Irving. I mean, obviously, player-wise, they're not comparison. And, one's a point guard, one's a center. But at least you're getting a piece that can help you compete now and is a solid upgrade over the centers you have now. It's somebody that has been rumored that the Nets have wanted for some time. Like, you can make that work. And, maybe you throw in a second-round pick or something to kind of make people happy. Or maybe you throw in THT and you get back Joe Harris or something. And it's like, okay, you end up with like Joe Harris, Buddy Hield, and Kyrie, something along those lines. And you make the money work and you extend Kyrie immediately. There's many possibilities. I do think the Pacers and the Knicks are the two teams to look out for as a potential in getting the Kyrie deal done. But yeah, you remind me of the guy from Lakers Nation. Well, I hope that's a good thing. And I'm sure you mean Trevor Lane. He's awesome. I watch Lakers Nation all the time. But hopefully that was a compliment. LeBron and AD are legit if they perform as supposed to. Yeah, I agree. I think you can't rule them out. It's just, if you have a healthy, dominant LeBron and a healthy, dominant AD, they're as good as anybody in the league. I mean, seriously. Like, people forget, we were an Anthony Davis away from probably going to back-to-back finals. Like, we were up 2-1 against the Suns, and we were literally like, it was looking like we were going to go up 3-1. And then Anthony Davis gets hurt, and, the rest is history. But Rasta, what is up? Appreciate you being here. Unrelated topic, but what's your favorite casino in Vegas, and will Vegas ever get an NBA team? My favorite casino in Vegas, that's tough. It's probably, I mean, from just like a sports gambling thing, it's I'd probably say like the race and sport, the big race and sports casino, Circa. There we go. I don't know, I was blanking on that, Circa, just because like it's literally built around like the sports book. And but other than that, like the Wynn is really nice and fancy. It's expensive, but like it's really nice in an upgrade. And the NBA absolutely will get a Vegas team. I think that'll happen sooner than people think. And everybody's kind of alluded to that. Even Mark Cuban talked about this on I didn't actually see the podcast, but I saw like the clip. The Nelk Boys. The Nelk Boys. They did a podcast with Mark Cuban, and I should watch the podcast. I'd like to actually watch it because I actually like the Nelk Boys. They're pretty solid. But they did a podcast with Mark Cuban, and they asked him that question, and he was like, absolutely. He's like, it'll be happening soon. So, I imagine. I'm tired of this. Stop getting our hopes up. I get it. Hey, look, I'm just relaying the information as it comes in, As a Pacers fan for many years, this is media clickbait. Pacers don't target people like Westbrook with big contracts. But Justin, you're missing the point, is that they're not trading Westbrook for his big contract or, him. They're trading him for his expiring contract. If he was on a 4-year, $40 million a year contract, yes, you're right. The Pacers absolutely would not do something like that. But they're looking at it as, we are a rebuilding team. We are a team that is very likely going to be terrible. They might have some nice run, stuff like that, but we're probably not a playoff team. We have a guy in Buddy Hield who is a $22 million a year salary for the next 2 years. We move off of his contract. We're losing Myles Turner either way. We get 2 first-round picks in the deal. That is a huge win for the Pacers. And that's what That's why it's not a media clickbait. If it was media clickbait, it would have already went away by now. It keeps coming back. Usually when there's no legs to something, we see it all the time. You'll hear the report, like a week later, it's dead. You never hear about it again. Yet the Pacers, you keep hearing them come back, and the deals keep coming back up over and over again because there's value in Westbrook's contract. They don't want the player. They don't want Westbrook to play and try to lead them to the playoffs. No, they want to take him, buy him out, clear his salary, and now they have, if Halliburton and Duarte and all the guys like are really solid, and it's like, man, we got some pieces together. You get a good draft pick, all that stuff, and you got all these assets. Maybe you could package those assets and go get a disgruntled star, and now you're in contention, something like that. That's usually how teams try to rebuild. As of right now, what would you say is the Lakers starting lineup? So obviously, as of right now, you're talking Russell Westbrook. I think Austin Reeves will probably be the 2 guard. And then you probably have it. Yeah, it'll probably be Austin Reeves. And then LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Thomas Bryant is what I think very likely the starting 5 as of right now, as it stands, would be the case. But are being petty. Yeah, absolutely. Look, they're going to have to cave one way or another eventually. Because here's the thing, like if they start the season and Kyrie is an absolute disaster for them, guess who just won? The Lakers. Because it's like, hey, hate to break it to you, you wanted a first round pick? Oh, no. Like now you're lucky to get a handful of second round picks. And that's assuming the Lakers haven't moved on by that point. So like, I mean, this could be them being petty, could be a real disaster for them, depending on how bad Kyrie really wants to go. So, but we'll see. Just pop it in to show love. P.S. Michael Jordan is still the OG. Sorry. Hey, Michael Jordan is fantastic. And thank you, Carrie. And thank you again for your super chat. That was very sweet, very kind of you. And everybody that's given super chats, again, thank you all so very much. Perfect scenario, the Lakers would trade Westbrook 2027, 2029 to Brooklyn for Kyrie and possibly Seth, instant contenders. Yeah, so I think ultimately what will likely happen, and again, could be completely wrong, but I think they'll find a happy compromise, right? Like the Lakers don't want to take Joe Harris because they don't want the salary cap, but they're willing to take Buddy Hield, which assuming Joe Harris is healthy, I would rather have Joe Harris 10 times out of 10 over Buddy Hield because he just offers more and he's bigger, everything that's shot like the exact same 3-point percentage and plays defense. But they don't want the long-term salary, and there's a lot of question marks with him, but they want Seth Curry because Seth Curry provides the same shooting and he's an expiring deal. Well, I think what could very likely happen is they meet in a happy medium where the Lakers end up giving both first, Westbrook, and then maybe like a THT. They get back Seth, Kyrie, and Joe Harris, and then everybody wins. That's very likely what I think will end up happening. Do you think people underestimate LeBron being the best player in the world? I mean, he averaged 30 last season. I mean, I don't think he's the best player currently. I mean, he's definitely top 3 to top 5, hands down. But which is, let me say too, that is unbelievable for a guy that's going to be 38 years old and year 20 is still a top player in the league. Like that's never happened before. So kudos to LeBron, but I still think Giannis is better than him. I think you can make an argument for KD, just what they provide now, which is not a knock on LeBron. The fact that LeBron is top 3 to 5 in the league, I just think, is incredible. But yeah, I think people underestimate LeBron, period. And I don't mean that, in like a too much of a negative light. I look at it as like, I don't think people appreciate what you're witnessing when it comes to LeBron James. Like, however you feel about LeBron, you're witnessing a once in a generation talent. Like, we might never see anybody close to LeBron ever. The guy has never had as much as a parking ticket. Like, he's however you feel about him, however, he cries, he, moves teams, all that stuff. He's still arguably the greatest player ever. he still has never had a controversy. I mean, Jordan, Kobe, you name it, every star has had some kind of controversy. Like, they try to find stuff on LeBron and they can't. Like, the dude had more hype to him than any player ever in history and lived up to it and then some. I mean, I just think people undervalue LeBron, period. You know, whether you're a LeBron fan or not, I'm not the biggest LeBron fan in the world, but I respect that greatness. I respect, like, what you're seeing is something you may never see again. So you should appreciate it, you know? Do you think rings matter when it comes to the GOAT talk? Some people say it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters as much as people put weight in it. You know, I think, like, you know, I do think rings are a discussion, but the problem is that, like, most people's arguments for rings doesn't make any sense because it's like, well, you know, this person has the most rings ever. And it's like, okay, so is Robert Horry in the GOAT conversation? You know, like, stuff like that. I think people overvalue the ring talk when you're talking about the GOAT conversation, just because it's a team effort, you know. And I'm somebody that's old enough to have been able to see Jordan and the teams he had, see Kobe and the teams that he had, and LeBron and the teams he had. And people like to act like Michael Jordan was playing with a bunch of bums and led them to, you know, glory. No. Before Scottie Pippen, he was either not making the playoffs or getting swept in the first round year in and year out. Michael Jordan is an incredible player. He is arguably the greatest player ever. But people overvalue this legacy of Michael Jordan and don't take all of the, like, little semantics and nuances into account that go into it. And people put too much value on the rings. No player has ever single-handedly won a championship. I mean, LeBron literally took a bunch of bums. Like, most people can't even name 5 players on that team not named LeBron. I'm talking about the team with, like, you know, Eric Snow, you know, Gibson and stuff like that. He literally took a bunch of dudes that would have been the worst team in the league and took them to the finals. They got smacked by the Spurs, but he still did that. Like, there's never been somebody that has won without it. Every team that's ever won a championship has had an incredible team. You know, whether Isaiah Thomas's Pistons, you know, Bird's Celtics, Magic's Lakers, you know, Jordan's Bulls. You can't say Michael Jordan has had the greatest team ever in history when they won 72 games, had the greatest team in NBA history, but everybody else was terrible. I am old enough to remember when they had conversations about Scottie Pippen being the second best player in the NBA behind Michael Jordan. Like, those were real conversations. And then Scottie Pippen led the Bulls when Jordan left to the same record. And they were still contenders. Like, LeBron, every team he's ever left has immediately been a bottom dwelling team. You know, and I'm not saying either way. I'm not saying Michael Jordan or LeBron either way. I'm just saying there's a lot of things that, like, people don't take into account when they're making the argument either way. You know, maybe we'll do a live stream one time and we'll kind of, like, do that. We'll, like, you know, have the big debate, and you know, I'll respond to your questions and stuff. I think that'd be kind of cool. I don't want to turn this one into that. Just wanted to get that across. So no, I do think rings matter to an extent, but I don't think it's as big as, like, I think it's somewhere in the middle. You know, I think people look at it as like rings are the only thing that matter, and then there's people that are like rings don't matter at all. I don't think it's either extreme. I think it's somewhere in the middle. That's me personally. I think we should get Donovan Mitchell and Patrick Beverley for real. The problem is I just don't see the Jazz ever trading us Donovan Mitchell, for one. And two, I don't think we have the assets to get Donovan Mitchell. There's no way we can compete with the New York Knicks assets. There's just no way. But real quick, shameless plug time. I did get to 3906. I'm 100 away from 4,000 subscribers, and I would have gotten 4,000 in a month. That is insane to me. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Help me get to the illustrious 4K. Because a month and a half ago, I was at 250 subs, and now we're at almost 4K. So I got 333 of you beautiful people in this stream. If you're enjoying this content, you're enjoying these conversations, please hit that like button. It really does help during and after the stream. But also hit that subscribe button. Help me out. Help me get to that beautiful 4K. We are now 92 away. So let's make that happen. And we'll go a little bit longer here. Let's Keenan year 20. I don't know for Westbrook. Yeah, I can understand that. for some reason, I believe Ham can make it work with Brook. I really do too. Now, I don't think he's going to make it work to this extent, like, oh, Lakers are automatically contenders. But I really do think he's going to be. I do think that they can get a lot out of him. I really do. I think that he can make it work with Brook too. I like I said, if we're keeping Russell Westbrook as the worst case scenario, that's really not that bad of a worst case scenario, in my opinion. Because if Darvin Ham can make it work, great. If not, you send him home, you let him ride it out the year, and then you got 47, you got almost 80 to 100 million in cap space. Because the only player you would currently have right now on your roster is like Max Christie and Anthony Davis. So I just think, however you shake it, like the Lakers aren't in a bad spot. Yeah, you're punting a year with LeBron, but hey, LeBron wanted Westbrook, right? What's up? Appreciate you being here. Giannis is 6'11" and has a better attitude. Absolutely. Like I said, they're not. I'm not trying to compare them skill level, things like that. I'm just saying, like, a lot of the things that Giannis isn't great at, Westbrook isn't great at, and the way that they were, especially earlier years, because he has improved tremendously. But in earlier years, what they did was they ran the 4-out 1-in offense and put him in the downhill spot or the dunker spot, stuff like that. I don't think it's going to be as effective, but it's a sign that, like, oh, okay, this can actually work. Is my point. What else we got? I answered this question in your super chat. Thank you so much again for this super chat that you gave earlier. Kyrie's a problem off the court. Just look at the teams he's been on. Yeah, I'm not ruling out that Kyrie can't be a headache. He can be. I just think that, look, if LeBron wasn't on the Lakers, it wouldn't even be a conversation that he's going to be that the Lakers would be trying to trade for him. I don't think they would want anything to do with him. Seriously. I guess LeBron knows how to deal with Kyrie. And that's the hope. I think it's like, okay, well, we have LeBron to kind of keep him under wraps. Pacer fans, give us feedback. Do you want Westbrook? I can almost guarantee you no Pacers fan want Westbrook. I don't think the Pacers want Westbrook. I think it's more so the idea of, like, it's the contract. They want the contract. They don't. No one wants Westbrook. How are you going to trade him? Teams want Westbrook. They don't want Westbrook the player. They want Westbrook the contract. That's what people need to keep in mind. Teams aren't and that's why the agent. Remember how Westbrook fired the agent? If you go read what the agent said, Westbrook wants to be traded. The agent wanted Westbrook to sit around and just buy in and not get traded because no one wants. Westbrook thinks that he's still that top guy, and he very well might be. I think he can be on the right team, but any team that's trading for Westbrook, they don't want him as a player. They want his contract, and they want the assets that the Lakers are going to give back. The agent wanted Westbrook to just behave and stay and just work it out because the agent says, dude, they don't want you. They want your contract. The Lakers, instead of trading to get assets for you, they're going to trade and have to give up assets for you. So that drops your value. You're going to get bought out. You're going to go to a team for a vet minimum. And now your market is set for the rest of your career. Where right now, Russ is still probably a $15 to $20 million player based on how teams just give out contracts. There will be a team that will give Westbrook probably $18 million a year to come and play for a handful of years. But if he goes and signs a vet minimum, Lakers give up a bunch of assets, all of this stuff. Now he's probably like an $8 to $10 million a year player. I am so mad because we let Matt McClung walk away. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I get it, but there's a lot of concerns with him. Like, I think he has the potential to be a great player, but it's like he could really go either way. He could be that guy that is. He's obviously a scorer. He obviously could put the ball in a blender, right? He's a guy that can do that. But, like, he's undersized, and to what level? We haven't seen him play substantial NBA minutes. Him smacking people in the G League and Summer League is not the same thing as him being in the NBA. If he can be a solid contributor, I don't see him ever being like that. he's going to be, your Lou Williams style player is what I think is his likely scenario, personally. But this is just for fun. Let's say the Lakers have KD, Giannis, Curry, LeBron. Will they go undefeated every season? Probably not. Like, not because like they wouldn't have the talent to, but one, teams don't really, like a team like that, they wouldn't they wouldn't value that. I mean, like even the Warriors, like the Warriors could have probably went undefeated the year that they won 73 games or whatever. But you saw them. They sit players, take a night off, stuff like that, injuries. Could they? Yeah, probably. But would they? Probably not. Let's see. How are the Vegas odds for Kyrie at this point? They're still Kyrie. Lakers are still favored for Kyrie. Last I checked, Lakers were still like minus 160. So Vegas still has them as the team to land them. I already answered that. Laker fans keep pushing these trades. Other teams don't want Westbrook. We'll see. Hey, the reports came from a Pacer report, like somebody in the organization with the Pacers. Like, so as much as like people like to say, oh, the Lakers are fishing, the Lakers are doing this, that, and the other. If you go look at where the conversation started from, it came from the Pacers side. The Lakers didn't make that report of the deal. The Pacers organization released that report. Like, we know that. It came from a Pacer insider, like a credible Pacer insider. I don't remember his name off of my head because I'm not a Pacer fan, so I don't follow all the Pacer starters. But yeah, like that was like one of the big talking points was like, hey, even Trevor Lane, somebody was talking about Laker Nation earlier. Trevor Lane even talked about that, how like the report came from the Pacers. It didn't come from the Lakers side. The NBA is against the Lakers. I hate that everyone. We always are overpaying. Yeah, because like I said, nobody wants to get fleeced by the Lakers. So I'm just tuning in according to Bob Kravis. Here's the quote that Buddy Hield and Myles sooner rather than later. Would it put pressure on the net? So yeah, it's funny. That's earlier. I know you just said you just tuned in, but earlier, yeah, I was actually talking about that very report and how like the deal. They talked about the deal, which was here. Let me actually pull that up because I don't want to misquote it again. Current offer on the table for Russell Westbrook: 2027 first for Myles Turner plus Buddy Hield per BK Kravitz. And the Pacers will only accept that the Lakers include their 2029 first round pick. So same thing. So I'm glad somebody else saw that same report. So that way people know I didn't just make that up. But yes, I do. I believe 100% this is a leverage play by the Lakers. I'm not saying that they wouldn't do the deal, but I think no deal's getting done until they know Kyrie is off the table. And I think that one, you could leverage this trade into the Kyrie deal, right? Because like I said, you could, hey, you're not going to get a first round pick, but you're not in a position to rebuild. So the first round pick doesn't really have a ton of value to you. What you can get is you can get Myles Turner, who can be your starting center and actually be a contributor now. Like, what would you like to do? That kind of thing. So I think that that's kind of the leverage, like, or the other play is like, either you do this deal with us or we're going to go take this deal and then you could figure it out with Kyrie. What do you want to do? That's what I think this is. I do think this is a huge leverage play. What else? If the Pacers trade, they'd have 66 million. Cap space 2023. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the Lakers or the Pacers would have a lot. It's not for Russell Westbrook. It is simply for the salary relief. Just wait till the trade deadline. I mean, yeah, but I mean at that point, if you're the Lakers, it might not even be worth it to trade Westbrook anymore. Because either A, you're good enough to where it's like you don't want to break it up and you want to compete, or B, you're terrible and you might as well just let Westbrook expire and punt the rest of the season. So that's something else too. Damn, you read comments? Yes, absolutely. Usually when I do the Q&A streams, I try to get through it. Obviously, super chat comments take priority. So if anybody, is like, oh, like I want him to answer my question immediately, super chat is what it's for. Already, if you've been here long enough, I've gotten several of them. So I try to get to those ones first. But other than that, I try to get in order. But I'm not going to, very rarely get to the end of them all just because I get so many questions, comments, stuff like that, and I can't stream for 12 hours. So, yeah. But yeah, so that's your way. Super chats or otherwise, I just go in order and get to the questions when I get to them. Nets know that Irving is a championship piece for the Lakers, so why accommodate them? Because they don't really have many other options. Like, look, if the Brooklyn Nets could just let Kyrie go, right, and have like 30 million in cap space, then fine. Like if I'm the Nets, yeah. Problem is that one, the Lakers know the Nets are in complete turmoil because if Kyrie leaves, they're still over the cap. They can't sign anybody to replace him. So what do you do? And Kevin Durant wants out, all this stuff. So the Lakers know, like, yes, Kyrie is a championship contender for us, but he only wants to go to us. So you don't have other options. So why would the Lakers want to ruin that? Like, for example, like this pen. Let's say this pen is worth $8, right? You're willing to pay $10 for this pen. And I'm like, no, I want $100 for this pen. And you're like, well, the pen's worth 8. I'm offering you 10 and nobody else is here to give you anything else. So why would I pay 100? Because I want 100 for this pen. Okay, but like the pen is going to run out of ink and then it's not a pen anymore and now you can't replace it. Like, what are you going to do? Like, either take what you got now or lose it. It's that's the point. Like, would you overpay for something that you're not competing with? Are you going to pay $100 for that pen just because I want $100? No. It's like, what are you going to do? What are your other options? You trade him to us, or he implodes your team and we sign him for free next year and we keep everything. Or what else? What else are you going to do? And you can't replace him. It's not like you get salary. It's not like you're going to have $30 million to go and get another player. No, Kevin Durant's going to want out more when you're stuck with the same team for the next 4 years. Like, it just as much as it would benefit the Lakers, it benefits the Nets too. It's just finding the right deal, and that's why I think we'll see a happy compromise. We'll see a happy medium somewhere in this whole thing. But all these trade talks and not one trade yet, and there will be no trades for the Lakers. Rob needs to be fired, but Bus won't fire Rob because it's Kobe's best friend, and Rob is killing the Lakers. He put together a championship team. After putting together a championship team, upgraded the entire team, was praised by the entire league and fans. They were an Anthony Davis away from probably being in the finals again. Rob has upgraded on every position. The one knock that people give him for is the roster he put together last year, which LeBron wanted, and so did Anthony Davis. He had deals made. DeMar DeRozan himself said he thought he was going to the Lakers, that's where he thought he was going. But no, the LeBron and Anthony Davis wanted Westbrook. Should have Rob said no? Yeah, probably. But here's the thing. You got your two superstar players. You lost the championship last year. You did it your way. Okay, at some point you got to compromise. People like to talk bad about Rob, but Rob has done a fantastic job, and he's doing the right thing by just standing pat. It's like, I understand we're in a what have you done for me lately world, but he's done a great job. He's gotten guys, like, people also forget that he was being praised for Malik Monk and Kendrick Nunn and all these other guys. Like, there's a lot to it than just like, oh, well, he's a bad man. He's done a good job. Do you think some refs secretly hate some players, like popular ones, LeBron, Kitty? Absolutely. I'm sure players have biases and stuff. We know that for a fact from what is it, Tony Dungy's book or whatever. How many top 75 players do the Lakers need? Sheesh, not too many. Buddy Hield and Myles Turner is a better trade. We're a much deeper team than the Kyrie deal. I do agree with that, but Kyrie offers you another layer that neither Buddy or Myles Turner offers you. Not just that, we have plenty of size. Will Myles Turner and Anthony Davis work out? Are they going to be able to play off of each other? Is it going to be a bad fit? Is it going to be a problem? Like, yeah, they can both shoot, they can both defend, but there's a lot of questions with just putting two bigs together. Buddy Hield offers you nothing besides shooting. Kyrie is at least he's a guy that has shown he can still carry the offensive load. When Kevin Durant was out, he was still putting up 30-point games and winning games and stuff like that. He would be a just amazing fit with LeBron and Anthony Davis. You already have the proven commodity in LeBron and Kyrie. They won a championship together with Kevin Love. You're basically getting Kevin Love on steroids with Anthony Davis. I'm not saying that Buddy Hield and Myles Turner doesn't make us deeper and doesn't make us a solid team. Yes, but Kyrie adds so many other elements. Anthony Davis and LeBron are going to miss 20 games a year each. Kyrie probably misses that many too, but hopefully they don't all miss at the same time. So you're always able to kind of have one out there on the court, stuff like that. So Kyrie is too unreliable. I wouldn't extend him. I'd wait and see how he does. Problem is, if you're the Lakers, you don't want to mess around. You don't want to trade all those assets, get Kyrie, and then now you're in trouble and he leaves because now he's pissed off. Because that's exactly what happened with the Nets. Then all the Nets had to do was just extend Kyrie Irving, and everything, the world would have been right. None of this drama and headache would have happened. But no, they wanted to play hardball. They didn't think Kyrie was worth the max. If you're the Lakers and you're going to trade 2 first-round picks to get Kyrie, do you really want to fall in that same trap? I don't think so. If the Lakers delay too long, teams will grab Myles Turner. But who? Who's going to go trade for Myles Turner when he is an expiring contract and could just leave? Like, who's going to give up a first for Myles Turner? And if so, how come no one's tried? How come nobody's tried to get Myles Turner? It's because teams either have a center or they don't want to trade a bunch of assets to go get Myles Turner when he could just say, I'm leaving you next year. If Myles Turner was on like a 2 or 3 year deal, I think more teams would be willing to go after it. Pacers will give the Lakers thieves a call for the Pacers way too much. No one over 25. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Lakers wouldn't do that, period. Like I said, they want to move off Buddy Hield's contract because it's $22 million a year. It's too complicated. It's going to be like a 5-team trade. I don't think it'll be that bad. I think it'll very likely we're going to be looking at probably looking at about 3 teams because the more teams you get involved, the harder and harder it becomes. But Hield is making 21 and 19, not 22. So yeah, like I said earlier, 40 million. Okay, so 20 million a year. Laker fans need to stop speaking for other teams. Let's hear from the Pacer and Nets fans. Like I said, the report came from the Pacers. Like this deal came from the Pacers. Like as much as people want to say like, oh, the Pacers, like as a Pacers fan, I'd hate if this trade happens. I can understand that. Like I can understand if you hate it, but in reality, like it doesn't matter. Like they don't care. Their job is to do what is best for the team. Like if GMs and organizations just listen to the fans, every team in the NBA would be a total disaster because everyone thinks that they're the best GM in the world and they know more than the professionals that get paid millions of dollars to do this. Like, are some better than others? Absolutely. But there's none of us would be a better GM than the guys in those organizations, even some of the bad ones. Like everyone thinks they could be, that they would be like, if they just got the chance to be in the NBA, I would be a starter. Like everyone thinks that they're better than the people that get paid for a living to do this, like it's not going to happen. And like I said, like Pacers fans, you're going to hate it, but it came from the Pacers. The Pacers put the trade out there. It wasn't the Lakers. The Lakers didn't just make that up. Like that information is out there. Go look it up. Shout out Trevor Lane. Yeah, facts. Shout out Trevor Lane for Lakers Nation, which also everyone real quick, shameless plug. So obviously again, if you're not subscribed to this channel, subscribe to this channel. But I also do have a Lakers channel, As It Stands Lakers. I actually have a link in the description of this live stream. Many of you I know are already subscribed to that. That channel I just submitted for monetization, which is awesome. So we'll be able to do live streams over there and all that stuff, do the super chat thing and all that stuff. It'll be great, be fun, good times. But I do have a Lakers channel as well, As It Stands Lakers. So if you're not subscribed there, go subscribe there as well, where I just talk about the Lakers. All the big stuff I still talk about on this channel, but this I try to talk about all sports. Starting to dive into some more football stuff like that. But yes, subscribe here. Subscribe to As It Stands Lakers. I really appreciate all of your supports. Do you think MJ actually pushed off on Byron Russell? Yes. That would have changed everything. That was absolutely a push off. different world, different time, and hand checking rules, stuff like that. So, but yes, it was. Um, Buddy Hield is a crucial part of the Pacers lineup. He will help the team tank. Needs to play more minutes. Might not be wrong. Um, yeah, that's why they'll end up trading Buddy Hield. Um, I think that other teams can give more valuable picks for Buddy and Myles. Like it's going to give up 2 first rounds. Yeah, I absolutely there are teams out there that could give a better package for both players, but like who's going to do that and why? Like I said, Buddy Hield making 40 million over the last 2 years. Who wants to pay that? Who has the assets to trade that is worth to go get Buddy Hield? The Lakers are in a very specific situation. You know what I mean? There's not any other teams that are in that same boat. So for the Lakers, it makes sense to get Buddy Hield and Myles Turner. But teams, they're not going to give up a bunch of first round picks for Buddy Hield and Myles Turner because Buddy Hield is a bad contract and he only offers you one thing, and that's shooting. He's not going to make you a contender either way. And then Myles Turner, you're going to give up a bunch of assets for a guy that could just leave, that could just say, I don't want to be here. Like I could go sign with the Lakers next year. I could go, I could go to New York next year. I could go whatever. It just, I don't see that. I don't see that happening. Who makes more, Hield or Harris? I believe Hield makes more because Harris is at like, if I'm not mistaken, he's like at like an 18.2 or something like that. Harris makes like roughly 18. Harris is owed, I believe it's 36 million over 2 years. So however those 2 years break down. 300 viewers is wild. Absolutely. Seriously, Michael. I've had some of these streams, like I had one stream that had like 6,000 people in it, which is crazy. I've had a couple of streams that have had a couple thousand, which is just, it blows my mind because I'm not like, I'm not some big YouTuber. I'm not stuff like that. The fact that people even want to pop in, obviously it depends on the conversation, the discussion, stuff like that. But the fact that like, I've had 300 people in this stream from pretty much start to finish is extremely mind blowing. Seriously. Don't you think Lakers will be a deeper team with Turner and Hill? Absolutely. They definitely will be deeper. I just like I said earlier, I think Kyrie Irving offers you so much more. The Lakers, it's not like the Lakers are they're already a pretty deep team. I mean, you got 3 centers, you got multiple power forwards, you got a guy in Anthony Davis who could play multiple positions. You have nothing but guards outside of that. The only thing we really don't have is like a real 3-point sniper and some defensive like wings, like some sizable wings. But outside of that, like the Lakers are already deep. This just makes you more like just upgrade deeper, I guess. Because Myles Turner is better than Thomas Bryant or Damian Jones. Buddy Hield, he offers that one thing, which is shooting. But I just think Kyrie adds a whole nother layer to this Lakers team than both of those guys combined with. But it definitely does make them deeper, yes. Why are they so high on Buddy? That guy's never made a play. I am with you 100%, Weezy Wayne. I have said the same thing for quite some time. I don't know the answer. I think that there are better options out there. I think that there are even more free options. Like if the only thing you want from Buddy Hield is shooting, you have a guy in Cole Swider who just shot 53% in Summer League. And now obviously he's not going to shoot 53% in the NBA, but if he could shoot at least 37%, he's shooting just as well as Buddy Hield is. And guess who has more playoff experience? Nobody, because neither have ever been in a playoff game in the NBA. So you get that. Yeah, Buddy Hield has more experience in NBA games, but if all you're looking for is a shooter, a guy to stand in the corner and knock down open threes, you have Cole Swider at 6'9", younger. Hopefully you can he just needs to be serviceable defensively. I don't know. I would rather them give him a shot. Carmelo Anthony, again, Carmelo plays no defense. He's a liability, but he was a great 3-point shooter for us last year. And if all you're looking for is 3-point shooting, here's a guy that can do that for you. You know what I mean? I just think however you shake it, I just think there's better options out there. Buddy Hield playing winning basketball if you want to tank. Pacers need him for a high draft pick. Yeah, exactly. Totally agree. Awesome. Appreciate you. Let's see. Yes, Halliburton and Mathurin is backcourt of the future. Right now, Pacers need Buddy to tank and get Victor. Yeah, everyone's tanking for Victor. um, what else we got? Why would Brooklyn want to pair Westbrook and Simmons? They be the Brick Bros. I mean, they don't want to. I really think that they want a third team. But here's the thing: one, is Simmons even going to play? Like seriously, like is he even going to play this year? At least Russell Westbrook will show up. At least he'll play, and it's only a year. I'm not saying that he's going to the Nets or that they want him or anything, but I mean, at least Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook can be a team that can get you to the finals. At least they're a team that is still really good. And that's what they need. I don't think it's the end of the world if the Nets took Westbrook. And if you move off Joe Harris and Kyrie, guess what? The Nets would actually have cap room to go and replace Kyrie Irving. So you tell KD, look, we're not going to trade you. You're going to have to ride it out for a year. Here's Russell Westbrook. You want to be traded anyway, so who cares? What, are you just not going to play? So here's Russell Westbrook. At least Russell Westbrook will show up and play as opposed to Kyrie and Ben Simmons. I mean, yes, they wouldn't be a very good fit, but what are your other options? It's not ideal for the Pacers. They have to lose, and Westbrook will always want to win games. It's a possibility that other teams will only give up draft picks. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to keep Russell Westbrook won't play a game for the Pacers. If they end up making this trade, he won't play a game for them. What'll end up happening is he'll end up getting waived, and that'll be that. All right, let's power through a couple more questions, and then I'm going to get out of here. So anything like that. Let's see. Let's see. If Westbrook plays for more than 10 games with the Pacers, Halliburton asked for trade. He's not going to play at all for them. Like they won't ever. Yeah, he's not going to suit up once. I would be shocked if he actually suited up. Is there a single team that would take Westbrook without 2 picks? Probably. I mean, if he was a free agent, yes. But in a trade, probably not. Maybe. I mean, the Spurs said that they would do it for 1, but Lakers should have made the trade for Kyrie over a month ago. Bus don't know how she's doing. LeBron James is the GOAT. Not even close. Political media tries to make Jordan a guy. So the problem is the Kyrie trade couldn't have happened a month ago. One, he wasn't. Neither Westbrook nor Kyrie were technically on the team because they both had to opt in. So you couldn't have done the Kyrie trade when this first started to begin with. 2, if you're talking about like after, like when it should have happened, it has nothing to do with the Lakers. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets, they're playing like we cannot meet their asking price. They want 2, if they really want 2 first-round picks and they want a third team to take Westbrook, it's impossible. Like, what do you want? You either gotta take 1 first and then we use the other first to go trade Westbrook and we get Kyrie, or you got to take Westbrook. You can't have everything. So it has nothing to do with the Lakers. Like, I think if the deal was reasonable, I think it would already be done. I don't know, bro. Brown would beat them. Celtics, Giannis lost to, especially in his prime. When he's like 2-way player. I mean, if you're talking all time, yeah, LeBron, yes, hands down. But if you're talking about like today, in this day and age, I think Giannis is the better player currently. Great analysis on the 70+ win Bulls. Thank you, Rich. But that's the thing. Like people don't look at everything. They hear from the media, or they hear from their friend, or they hear from whatever, but they don't actually like take the time to look at everything. Like you can't say that Michael Jordan didn't have some of the greatest players in history, and then in the same breath say that the 70+ win Bulls team is the greatest team in NBA history. What is it? Did Jordan play with a bunch of bums, or were they the greatest team ever? And if they are a bunch of bums, what does that say for the rest of the league if the Bulls won 70+ games? You know what I mean? Like it's just the casual argument from what we were talking about earlier. That's the problem. Trade Westbrook to Brooklyn is unlikely because you cannot pair Westbrook with Simmons. It doesn't make sense at all. Yeah, I mean, I don't. But like I said, it's a year. They might not have a choice. But it doesn't make sense at all. But again, is Simmons even going to play? I mean, seriously, that's a real question. Is he actually going to play? But I think so too. I've stuck up for Westbrook a lot. Like, I mean, I had a stream not too long ago where people were just going in on Westbrook, and I just spent like 20 minutes defending him. I really think wherever he ends up, he's going to ball out. Y'all seen the Drew League game, right? LA better give Bron what he wants or be the losers in the future. Yeah, like I said, I think push comes to shove, it'll be a done deal. But here, let's where'd it go? Here we go. I'm gonna get through like 3 or 4 more questions, and then I'm gonna skate out of here. If anyone has like a comment or something that like absolutely needs to be answered, super chat, I'll answer it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go in order here and find like the next like 3 or 4, and then we'll skate out of here, and then tomorrow, whatever. But all that sounds good, assuming Westbrook accepts that role. Yeah, I mean, of course, it comes down to that. Like, will Westbrook, will he be willing to buy in and accept? I mean, that's always the ultimate question, right? Adding Buddy Hield will do nothing. I just don't think it moves the needle either way. I don't think it. I mean, maybe you win 2 or 3 more games, something like that, but I don't think it makes you a contender. Done likes and subscribe. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All the way from the Philippines. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I get a lot of people from the Philippines in these live streams. Shout out to the Philippines. Seriously. I really do. I appreciate it. LeBron thinks he can turn Buddy Hield into Klay Thompson. Facts. Incoming 40% from 3. Kendrick Nunn. I have been shouting till my lungs turn out on the fact that Kendrick Nunn, like, I think people are really sleeping on Kendrick Nunn. I really don't want to see. I would rather them keep Kendrick Nunn. Like, he was a 20 point per game starting point guard, just killing teams. 2 seasons ago with the Miami Heat in the finals. Like, he shot 38% or whatever from 3 the last time he played. Like, come on. I mean, what more could you ask for? He would be our Kyrie light if he can get back to being Miami, right? I mean, we won a championship with, KCP as our 3rd option. Imagine Kendrick Nunn being that guy. Like, he offers a lot of the same stuff, but let's do. We'll end up like, yeah, I actually think that's very likely to happen sooner rather than later. Westbrook is nowhere near $15 million a year. Okay, if you say so. Is not a $20 million player. He a vet minimum player. Come on, you guys are just people. A year ago, the guy was averaging a 30-point triple-double with the Wizards. Like, he's not a $47 million player. But people have recency bias and are just plain haters. Russell Westbrook is still that guy on the right team. A team is going to pay him, like I said, he's probably going to make about 15 to 20 million. I'm telling you. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Remember these comments when Westbrook's a free agent and finally signs somewhere. I'm not talking about this year if he gets bought out, because he's not going to sign for 15, 20 million. But in 2023 free agency, some team picks him up. We'll see. Because I'm pretty sure he's going to get a 15, 20 million. I just think people are haters, seriously. It's recency bias. That's what it is. Russell Westbrook, a year before he became a Laker, was playing at an MVP level. Like, he was in talks for winning the MVP. They just didn't want to give it to him because he was on a Wizards team that was just barely making the playoffs. Like, come on. Yes, so we talked about that. All right, I think that is it. I think we're going to skate out of here. Personally, rather have Kyrie than Hield and Turner. Yes, the Pacers trade gives more depth, but Kyrie gives the best chance to win. Exactly. I'm with you 100% final. I couldn't agree more. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Trying to hit that 4K subscribers. We are now, 77 subscribers away from 4K. Got 200 of you beautiful people in here. If you're not subscribe to the channel. Also, subscribe to my Lakers channel, As It Stands Lakers. I'm a Laker fan, love Lakers. And this channel, I try to talk about a little bit of everything. There is a lot of Laker talk lately, but that's just because most of the big stuff is on the Lakers. But starting to talk about football, things like that. So subscribe here. Subscribe to As It Stands Lakers. You can get to As It Stands Lakers either with the link in the description here, or you can do it if you just go to the homepage here. You'll see that channel. So I'd appreciate you all. Help me get to 4,000 subscribers. Like I said, we're almost there. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Everyone that gave me super chats, thank you so much for putting some money from your pocket to mine. I really do appreciate it. It really does help the channel, and it's awesome that all of you would be willing to do that. And everybody that's here hanging out with me, thank you all so very much for taking the time out of your day. You could probably be doing a million other things, but the fact that you're here having these conversations, whether we agree, disagree, however you feel about it, I thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you all in the next one.